It is the largest school district in southeast Louisiana.
47,000 students and about 7 dozen public schools in Jefferson Parish.
But while most of the children attending class are vaccinated against diseases like mumps and smallpox, not everyone is.
100 enrolled kids, about 1 in every 200 students have not been immunized, and there are unprotected children in just about every school district and on many private campuses. That's because even though state law calls for vaccinations, there are some exemptions.
Anchor Sella Kim is here with the story. And Sella, we've heard a lot lately about parents choosing not to immunize. So what are the reasons here in Louisiana?
Well, Scott, it's a lot of the same reasons as elsewhere: religious, personal, or medical concerns like allergies, or if a child is undergoing things like chemotherapy. But there's more to this whole vaccination issue because kids who are vaccinated need booster shots. That's where some may slip through the crack. So we talked to the Health Services Director of Jefferson Parish to see how they keep track of immunization records and why some kids are not completing their vaccination series.
Every year I take him to his pediatrician, whether he's ill or not. Sometimes we do well visits.
Jade Roseanne is conscientious about her son's health. 10-year-old Quinn is up to date on his medical visits and his vaccinations.
It's good for the child. I mean, you're a child. And obviously, you want other kids to be vaccinated as well.
But that's not always happening. According to the Louisiana Office of Public Health State Immunization Registry, just under 0.5% of Jefferson Parish students in both public and private schools and kindergarten were granted exemptions in 2014. In Orleans Parish, it was higher, 0.8%. In St. Bernard, about 1/3 of 1%. And in Plaquemines Parish, almost 0.9% of students were not immunized.
That concerns me. Because already, I mean, I have a child with asthma, so, you know, any little thing could trigger a flare-up.
There's reasons for the worry. Jefferson Parish Health Services Director Alita Weiler says a few years ago there was a chickenpox outbreak. Even students who were vaccinated caught the virus.
Sometimes they do have breakthrough cases, even though they have been immunized, they get chickenpox. And at that point, the records are all searched for the students.
Weiler identified the kids who were not immunized, and they were told not to come to school for 3 weeks.
And they are excluded for the incubation period of that disease, which is usually about 21 days, unless they choose to take the vaccine.
She says the tricky part is the booster shot. The extra dose of vaccine required years after the first injection. The medical director of Louisiana's immunization program says by 6th grade, a child should have 1 Tdap shot, 2 varicella shots, 2 MMR, 3 hepatitis B, and 1 meningitis shot. But sometimes students fail to get those boosters.
And so if they don't continue getting their boosters or completing the series, then they would be excluded because even though they've started the series, they don't have full immunity.
Remember the statistic from Jefferson Parish, about 0.5% not immunized? Well, when you check for the boosters, that number is much higher. Right now, about 3% of students are not up to date. Still, that's low compared to other parts of the country, and a principal can decide to exclude a child from school if his or her record is not up to date.
A lot of that depends on the principal as to whether they want to enforce it or not.
In Orleans Parish, 162 students have incomplete immunizations. That's out of 3,325 children in public schools. Weiler says school nurses monitor the records each month to see who is due for a booster shot.
So throughout the year, we are checking to see what students need their vaccine.
The school sends up to 3 reminder letters home, but sometimes no action is taken. Weiler doesn't know why. She says it may be a lack of communication or, in some cases, just plain negligence. Mother Roseanne understands life can get busy at times, but for her, Quinn's health is priority.
I think that if the parents and the school and the pediatrician all work, you know, in unison, all work collectively, then there's a minimal chance that his or her shots will slip through the cracks.
All right, now I do want to emphasize that some students are exempt because of medical reasons. I talked to one parent who says her daughter had adverse reaction from the hepatitis vaccine. So there are unique cases. If you go to www.2a.cdc.gov, it's a very helpful website. It lets you pick the state, tells you what's required, what isn't, and when exemptions are allowed. The link to that website is on our website at wdsu.com. Back to you, Camille.
All right, Sella, and immunization shots are covered under most insurance policies and by Medicaid. We'll be right back.